Hi again, this is Dr. Whiting, and join us for our third in a series of questions and answers most frequently asked by our clients about systemic Candida and our Oxy Flush program. The first question that we'll deal with today, the writer says, when starting the Oxy Flush, when can I expect to start to feel better? Well, that's a $64,000 question. Everyone is different. And essentially, when you begin the Oxy Flush, a variety of factors can affect whether and when, not whether, but when you will start to feel an improvement in your overall health. Some people feel better right away the first week. Others don't feel better till the third or fourth week. Some people feel worse before they feel better. That's called die-off. And to address die-off quickly, because our oxygen product is buffered, it releases into the system very slowly. This helps to prevent excessive die-off from too aggressive a program. I would say that only 5% of the people who use our oxygen supplement experience any degree of die-off. And those folks who do, it's very simple for us to slow the process down, to extend it from the normal 6 weeks that we recommend, say, to 8 or 10 weeks. And by slowing it down and spreading it out, virtually everyone can get through the program with practically no die-off or side effects whatsoever. Okay, it says next, do I need to follow the so-called Candida diet while doing your program? No, you don't need to. Keep in mind that what you eat does not cause a yeast overgrowth. What you avoid or abstain from will not cure it. You do not eat Candida. Candida is human yeast and found only in the human body. It is not found in foods or other living creatures. That having been said, a diet high in sugar and white flour products can make the detox process a bit more difficult. So if you have a more severe case of systemic yeast, you may want to avoid or at least greatly reduce concentrated sugars, sweets, cakes, pies, cookies, and white flour products. Not that you have to. The program will work just as well if you eat those foods at every meal. But you may not feel as well physically. You may not have as much energy as you will if you reduce or avoid them. How many times might I have to repeat the Oxy Flush? That really depends on a whole variety of factors. Age, sex, physical condition, how long you've had the yeast overgrowth, and where the yeast overgrowth is located in your body. Statistically, 50% of the people who use our Oxy Flush program are good to go after the first one. 30% need to repeat that flush a second time. And 20% need to do it 3 or more times for the reasons we just discussed. But if you'll go to candidaclinic.org, you will find on the home page a link to our Candida self-test. If you will just take out 5 minutes to fill that out, total your score, when you contact our center, if you'll have that total, it will help us to better answer the question of how many times you may potentially have to repeat the flush in order to get complete control of the issues. Okay, why do yeast infections often cause so much vaginal discharge? Well, when you're eliminating toxins of any kind, they got to go out somewhere. And when you have a yeast overgrowth, it ends up going through the digestive tract. And the end of the digestive tract is the urethra from the bladder. And that's why oftentimes women have repeated vaginal discharge and yeast infections during the detox process. Certainly not all of them, but that is a part of the situation. We deal with women who have yeast infections and chronic vaginal discharge and have had it for months and months on end. And over time, through oxygenation, we can help the body to eliminate those concerns. If you should have any questions about what we're discussing today, or that something is not quite clear, you can always visit our website devoted to systemic yeast, which is candidaclinic.org. You can also feel free to call my office at 1-888-454-8464. If you prefer to email me with your Candida test score, you can do so at askthedoc, ASKTHEDOC, askthedoc at healthyinformation.com. Let's move on to the next question. Will this program improve my bowel functions? Very likely yes. One of the classic symptoms of yeast overgrowth are digestive and bowel disturbances. Indigestion, increased flatulence, cramping, diarrhea, alternating with constipation and back and forth. These are classic symptoms of the body's biochemistry, the body's biological equilibrium being disturbed. One of the things that the Candida can do is it can suppress healthy bacteria. And once that occurs in the colon, constipation and or diarrhea or alternating can occur. So very likely over time those issues should be addressed, or I should rather say they should right themselves as your body heals and is supported properly. Okay, it says here I have a few health issues. Should I deal with these first or deal with the Candida and do the Oxy Flush? My recommendation almost universally is if you have confirmed that you have a systemic yeast problem, please deal with that first. And here's why. Many of the other things that you think you have also to deal with are directly related and in fact may be caused by your yeast overgrowth. Once we take care of that yeast overgrowth, it is very likely that those other things will naturally, slowly take care of themselves. And it will be unnecessary to address all of them separately. Once we have the yeast overgrowth under control, we can then, at that point, address what other issues, if any, might remain. But by trying to do all of these little things at once, you may be wasting a lot of time, effort, money, and overdoing things when simply all was required was to get the yeast under control. You can follow us on Twitter, and you can like us on Facebook. And doing so will get you health tips of the day. It will also get you the latest information out of our research center, specials, discounts on our formulations, and a wide variety of other benefits. You can sign up for both Facebook and Twitter by going to phoenixnutritionals.com and click on the logo links right on the front page. This concludes our third part in our series of questions and answers about systemic Candida and our Oxy Flush program. In the next series, part 4, we'll be talking about colon cleansing and its benefits. We'll be talking about weight management and Candida, and a variety of other interesting and I hope informative questions and answers. This is Dr. Whiting. Please stay tuned for part 4 of questions and answers about systemic Candida. Thanks for listening.